Hey guys, this is Dustin coming at you with my top list for Valentine's Day fragrances. Now, I'm basing this list off of fragrances that are in my collection or fragrances that I've had experience with. They're in a whole range of budget, ranging from retail of $80, $90 to a budget about $35. So I'm basing these off of versatility and if you could wear them all year round, and they're gonna work. Now, traditionally, when I think Valentine's Day fragrances, it kind of falls in the line of date night fragrances, something dark, something for intimate, something boozy, leathery, iris, a little bit of spice, something along those lines, or some tobacco. Now, could you wear a freshie for a Valentine's Day or a date night? Absolutely. But these that I have on my list are based on what I have experience with, but also something that I would say you'd have no problem wearing all year round. And I'm kind of parked on the side of a road right now. But starting off with a fragrance that honestly gets crapped on a lot in the community because of its opening. It has a pretty prominent, sharp lemon citrus opening that people say reminds them of like a lemon cleaner sort of way, but that tends to dissipate after a few minutes. After I say that, you guys probably automatically know what it's going to be. The first fragrance is by the House of Armaf, and it is Club de Nuit Intense Man, and this is the Eau de Toilette. You can choose the Eau de Parfum, the limited edition Parfum, any of those. I just don't have experience with those. This is the one I have experience with, and to me, I get every bit of 8 to 10 hours, no problem. This thing projects beastly. It's a monstrous projector and fantastic longevity. If you're wanting that Creed Aventus, old school Creed Aventus style, where it's more heavy on the birch and the smokiness, this is what I would recommend. There are other options out there. If you're looking for more of the fruity style of Aventus, you can go with like Silver Supremacy by Offnon. You can go with Mont Blanc Explorer, which is more bergamot heavy forward, but this I find I can wear all year round and have no issue with it. So that is the first one on my list. The next one has a lot of hype in the community as a fantastic date night fragrance, and I understand why. This is probably one of my girlfriend's favorites on me for a date night, which it's no other than Prada Luna Rossa Black. Now this is going to have that Prada Sport DNA, that lavender forward, little bit of spice, but this is nice. This, I find, if you want something that has a little bit of like subtle spice, maybe some cardamom in there, a little bit of like vanilla and some slight florals with the lavender, this is the way to go. Now, longevity is great. I get 7 hours, but projection is about moderate, right in that hour and a half first. You can spray this heavy, and this tends to sit a little bit closer to your skin, but having more of a personal scent bubble around you. So this would be best for like up close encounters and where it's not going to really reach out and touch somebody. But that is Prada Black. Now, one I don't have a bottle with me right now is Armani Code Eau de Parfum. Now, I have done a review on Armani Code Parfum and did a video on it as a top date fragrance, and I even put that one in the spray off challenge that I did a few weeks back. But that one is gonna be very similar. The older batches of Armani Code, the Eau de Toilette. Don't get a newer batch of Armani Code Eau de Toilette. The longevity is very lacking. I think the last bottle I had was a 2015 batch or 2016 batch, and that one was very strong, 8 to 10 hours, no problem. But if you like the Armani Code EDT, but you don't like that sharp opening from the real sharp citrus and really sharp lavender in the opening, I highly recommend the Eau de Parfum, because it's more of a focus on the lavender and the vanilla in there, and not so much on the sharp citruses. It's a nice one. It projects slightly above average, but I get 8 hours out of it, no problem. It's a fantastic fragrance for date night, and that's why I'm putting it on my list for a Valentine's Day fragrance. Now, the next one, again, I don't have a bottle of this one. I used to, and I'm probably gonna get another bottle because I traded it off, and there's something about that fragrance that I just love. It is Bulgari Men in Black. Now this one's gonna be a tobacco-based fragrance with more of a kind of a suede leather in there, a nice soft powdery iris, and the tobacco in there is more of a sweet and slight spice tobacco. You can dress that thing up, no problem. Dress it up in a suit and tie. Dress it up as casually as you would like. And it's long lasting, 8 hours, no problem. It does project pretty good that first 2.5 hours on my skin. And then it leaves you with a nice personal scent bubble around you. So it's not gonna choke people out, and the fragrance is nice, and it doesn't smell overly synthetic. So that is why Bulgari Men in Black is on my list for Valentine's Day fragrances. Now this next one, this company puts out some really nice fragrances that don't smell overly synthetic, and they're at a reasonable price depending on which line you go with. Now this one I received on a trade, and I find there is an Eau de Toilette, there's an Eau de Parfum, there's so many different fragrances in this company's line that this is the one I went with just based on pure versatility. And if you like iris, I find this company does iris very nice. And the fragrance I'm talking about is Gentleman Givenchy. This is Eau de Toilette. Now the iris in this isn't overly makeup baggy like a Dior Homme but it has the iris in here is like a soft, slightly makeup-y, but there's like a green herbalness with it that makes it really nice. And there's a little bit of a leather note as this dries down that works very well with it. You could definitely dress this thing up. You can dress it down, and it's an average projector with slightly above average longevity. I get 7 hours out of it, but the fragrance is very nice, and that's why this is probably going to be my Valentine's Day fragrance for today or tonight. So that is my list. Put down in the comments what you guys are wearing for Valentine's Day, or even put out what you have in your guys' collection that you would recommend as your top 5 Valentine's Day fragrances. So I'll see you guys in the comments.